These days, we're hearing so many people talk about how they want cameras to be lighter and smaller. And you know what? In some ways, I agree. The Nikon D810 was extremely heavy, and I've been using now a Nikon DF for a long time, and it is much lighter. It's not the lightest camera out there. I mean, the Panasonic GH5, what I'm recording this on, is actually much lighter, but not actually smaller than the Nikon DF, but definitely lighter. And that's mostly because of the lenses being used more so than the body, but there are some cameras that are actually much lighter. Like the Sony A series cameras are very light, the Fujis are very light, the Olympuses are very light, and so on. Even Panasonic has cameras that are light. Heck, Nikon has little cropped mirrorlesses that are extremely light, but they're more like toys. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is that I just want to show what, for those who have not been in the photo industry for a long time, who have no experience with dark rooms and things like that, I want to show you what photographers used to use and what used to carry around, and some still do. And it might surprise you, maybe it won't, but I want you to see that while we are sort of, many photographers in the industry these days are talking about reducing weight and complaining about how heavy the cameras are, you gotta put things in perspective, because, well, how would you like to carry this around all the time? How would you like to carry this around all the time? Now, this is a beautiful camera. This is how you look down on it. You just look down and you can see big glass. It's beautiful. This is a 50mm medium format lens on this Mamiya RZ67. It actually, you know, has a bellows to zoom, to focus and zoom, as well as you know, focusing on the lens itself. Now, this is a 50mm lens on this. This is a big camera. It is extremely heavy. I'd have to look up actually the weight on this, but just trust me, it is a heavy camera. Now, that's just the one camera and one lens, but imagine you had another lens on it. Now, this is a 150mm lens, right? And then imagine you also had 110mm lens. And, oy, this one's heavy. And this one is a 75mm tilt shift lens. Now imagine you had all that, and then some more things. For example, extra film backs. I've got like 4 or 5 of these for this camera, right? They start to add up. One alone is not that much weight. This is probably the weight of a point and shoot digital camera alone. And then imagine not wanting to use a waist level finder, and instead you want to use a viewfinder. And what I mean by that is you would actually pop off this waist level finder and slide in this, and in turn you'd be looking through a viewfinder. That's heavy. I don't even think I would trust the tripod that this Panasonic GH5 is sitting on currently. I don't think I would trust it for this. That's heavy. Now imagine you've got all that in a camera bag that already is extremely heavy. And in addition, you have to carry around all of this film, this medium format film, where each one individually is bigger than a 35mm roll of film. Not by the diameter so much, but the height. And you've got 1, 2, all these, just tons and tons of it in your bag, because, well, you know, you've got to load up your film into these film backs, and you've got to have it all ready, and you've got to have tons of rolls, because if you're shooting, you got to make sure you have enough film, because you don't have a memory card for it to go on unless you have a digital back, which means it's even going to be even heavier. Now imagine that you want to see things instantly before you actually make the photo for real, and you don't have a digital back, but you do have a Polaroid back. Well, now you've got another piece of equipment. And we're complaining about the weight of a digital SLR and a mirrorless camera. That's what the industry is complaining about lately, is the weight of a camera. When most cameras, for professionals, were like this. Heavy and bulky. Just puts things in perspective. Heck, we can go older if you want. This is not very heavy, but it is bulky, I'll tell you that. Or, oy! This one, this Polaroid, weighs the same amount as this does. And look how compact that is compared to that. Put things in perspective. So, all I'm gonna say is, don't complain about the weight of your camera. If you want a lighter camera, get a lighter camera.